Ever since 1939, they would dangle this electric car. They have a few models out there. They'd say there's something in another few years. And it never came because they never intended it to come. They make too much money with their technological stagnation and the internal combustion engine.
As something becomes scarce, then there's economic pressures to find alternatives. And as long as no alternatives exist, the scarce item can become increasingly profitable.
These are the same batteries that are used in your laptop computer, and we have 6,800 cells. And it can go 300 miles on one charge, running about 70 miles an hour. So now it's 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. So it's really amazing performance for any car, not just an electric car. Those same batteries could be put in EV1 and make it a 300-mile range car very easily. Really? So it's such a shame seeing these cars destroyed when you could upgrade them.
I know what I did and why I did it. And if I had to do the same thing again based on the data, and I've seen what's happened to date, I would do exactly the same thing.
For most Americans, when you talk about sensible energy policy, what most people hear is, you're going to make me drive a small car, you're going to make me keep my house cold, and essentially you're going to make me live like a European.
It's a lack of leadership. It's a lack of being able to take on the oil industry and the automobile industry and recognize that they are not Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam has to be Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam is acting like they're General Motors.
They're squandering huge amounts of money on hydrogen cars, which by any reasonable estimate are not going to be selling in the consumer market for 2 decades at the earliest. And I think it will go down as one of the biggest blunders in the history of the automotive industry.
I mean, you never heard that expression? Death by a million cuts, little tiny cuts, eventually someone will bleed to death.
The fight over electric cars was quite simply a fight about the future. Goliath won this round, but now Goliath has new problems. Oil prices have soared. America is further entangled in the Middle East. And global warming is an increasingly serious threat. What can we do to reshape the future?
This city is replete with famous names that are no longer here. Why? Because they couldn't adapt to change. We all have to adapt to change. Don't debate about who's to blame or what to blame. Let's build new industries. Let's make America strong again.
Chelsea continues her work with a new group called Plug-in America, working with citizens across the political spectrum to promote an independent energy future.
You know, I met Jim Woolsey at an event, and as it turns out, he was already a bit of a fan of stuff that we were doing, and he's come to work with Plug-in America. And that's one example of the types of relationships that have to exist in order to further what we all want.
I've served in 4 administrations and with presidential appointments, all in different aspects of national security. And the fact that 2/3 of the world's proven reserves of oil are in the Middle East, and we're so dependent on that part of the world, is a very big national security question. Well, behind me there are 2 things. One is a Prius, hybrid gasoline electric Toyota, and an electrical substation. Today they don't have much to do with one another, but there's a chance that they might be able to have something to do with one another in a positive way.
And that's where I think the plug-in hybrid is the natural next step, and that is available to us today.
This is a plug-in hybrid Prius, which is a modification to a normal Toyota Prius that allows you to travel, which gives you up to 150, 180 miles per gallon for the first 50 to 60 miles of the day. We don't need an expensive charging infrastructure to use this car. You can just plug it in anywhere in your garage. So we make the environmentalists happy because it's cleaner. We make the neoconservatives happy because it uses less gasoline. Well, everyone's happy because it uses less gasoline.
Plugging in could go a long way to reducing our dependence on oil. And generating that electricity with the wind and the sun would create even less pollution. With his battery technology in most hybrid cars, Ovchinsky has also built one of the largest thin-film solar factories in the world.
This is just an ordinary steel roof. And this is with the adhesive. You just put the shingles down, nail them down, you're in there, you run your wires down. Everything is plug and play. Anybody that wants to make a revolution shouldn't grab a gun. Just go and start working like we do to change the world by using science and technology.
I am so optimistic about the future. I mean, even given everything that we've seen and all of the EV wars, I remain an optimist.
One of the things that makes America work is this rampant grassroots agitation for things that are new.
When you get a coalition of that size and that surprising character, you get politicians' attention.
And here we have a serious problem. America is addicted to oil.
I call all this a potential coalition between the tree huggers, the do-gooders, the sodbusters, the cheap hawks, and the evangelicals. That's a pretty good-sized coalition.
We are about to enter into a world that's truly renewable and completely clean if we just have the willpower to implement it.
Well, you don't have to wait for major auto companies to do it. You can do it yourself like what I'm doing here. Old cars, new cars, doesn't really matter. I can convert anything.
You haven't seen anything yet. The future is going to be very bright in this area. And the forces are all pushing in that direction, both the economic and technological forces.
So, you know, once people see these things, they say, wow, I want to do this. And so the word is getting out.
That gives us hope. Hope that we can end up our lives having achieved what we set out to do, and we have.
And you still have so many more years you want to do things.
I wouldn't have enough time. I am shooting with hot dice right now. So.